about a restart, but we did. So just hit Zoom once this goes, just hit Zoom.
It's now 6 p.m. Chair would like to call the May 16, 2023 regular call school board meetings order. Madam Clerk, as a public is notified.
Yes.
And I do motion to go into executive session for personnel reasons. With a motion.
Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion, we enter executive session for personnel matters only, provided I get a second.
Second motion. Motion made by Ms. Harrison, second by Dr. Harris. In favor of going to executive session for personnel reason, all in favor, show by raising the right hand. Letter E7. We will go into executive session. We will be in no longer than 6:30. We don't have much, so you may be out later. Thank you, and we'll be right back.
My God.
I got these. Yeah. It ain't got me, but they got people this stuff.
They got me. One of these that I can, I don't know which one.
Hi. Right, they were told not of this. I know, right? I still bet six. If you get in the shape, okay. Gotta be. Yeah.
Motion, taken. Executive session, no action taken.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion, we exit executive session, no actions taken.
Motion made by Mr. Harrison, second. Dr. Harris. Exit executive session, no action taken. All in favor, show by raising the right hand. This time, I'm going to welcome everyone to this May 16th, Fairfield County regular school board meeting. Thank you all for coming out supporting it. For all children, our kids, grandkids, clergymen, all out there, we do appreciate you supporting our school district. This time we'll have moments of silence and please stand up for the flag. The motion to
For chair, I make a motion that we approve the agenda as presented for the May 16, 2020.
Yes, sir. Motion made by Ms. Green, second by Reverend Jackson. Approve the agenda for this May 16, 2023, regular board meeting. All in favor, show by raising of hand. That would be 7. We have any comment on? No, sir, Mr. Chair. Time we have our patient recognition. I think.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight, we will have Chef Montgomery come forward and he will recognize one of our scholars.
Good evening. Good evening. Thanks to all for coming here and y'all allowing us to do this today. I'm here today because Miss Anderson, she helped us last week find a missing person, a runaway actually. Without her, we wouldn't be able to do it. It was juvenile, so I'm not going into detail about it. But without her help, we wouldn't be able to find it. This was an overnight thing. We worked all night to try and find this juvenile. The next one, we're lucky to have, we're trying to settle down, and we appreciate that. I just wanted to give her award. That's a small thing for what we helped us do. I also want to give you an invitation to sheriff's office one day. In our school this summer. I'm not working. If we could start with
Our second recognition for this evening, the elite ladies of Fairfield County School District and Fairfield Central High School Journalism Department. I believe Mr. Davis, will you be handling that, or Ms. Brown? Or one of your representatives?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm Teresa Jakes, the Vice President of Time Riley. We would like to thank Dr. Green, Dr. Green, and the board member of Fairfield County School. School District. Daryl Davis, he is the Vice President of our prime time, and Ms. Brown. Daryl Davis is our president of the prime time riders. They would like to send a small gratitude up to the elite lady. I'm sorry, to the prime time rally.
Hello, Ms. Brown. I wasn't able to make it that day that y'all had the competition up here. I heard a lot of great things about it. Ms. Jackson was one of the ones that was there, talked about how awesome job that y'all did. She's very impressed It's one of the very first competitions she actually attended. She loved it. She said she's waiting on another one. And outside of this donation, I have 2 more donations from a friend of mine from Memphis, Tennessee, which is Jared Harris, and Monty from Atlanta. Facebook, you know, like make a donation so you can buy some with the language.
Thank you.
Before Dr. Avery moves on to the next group to be recognized, I'd be remiss if I did not acknowledge and recognize and thank Ms. Brown for working with our young ladies in Fairfield. Very often we underestimate the importance of mentorship in our respective communities. And although mamas and daddies and uncles and aunts and neighbors are active in the lives of our young people, you can never have too many people who are active in the lives of your children. And sometimes I wonder whether we still believe in that adage that it takes a village to raise a child. I think there is definitely truth to that. But sometimes people are willing to talk about the village, but not necessarily willing to be a part of being the village. And as the young people say, you just can't talk about it, you gotta think about it. And so I thank Ms. Brown for her willingness to pour into our young people. Also attended the dance competition 2 weeks ago, and it was very well organized. I had never been to one of these dance competitions before, but I was so impressed that we had some small elite ladies out there dancing. I tell you, the first team that came up, they had some real good girls that are bigger, and we had some older young ladies. We had some small young ladies who looked like they've been probably about 3rd grade. I'm not sure, but younger than that. So, and she had just done a tremendous job of preparing these young ladies. And so I wanted to say that to her because I tell you folks, it takes a lot of time and energy to work with young people. And you know how tough it can be to work with your own biological children. Imagine if you had about 50 and 60 of them, all right? Then you know it takes some patience and commitment. So join me just give Ms. Brown a round of applause.
The last recognition for this evening, we were excited about a new partnership, the Fairfield County Library. And tonight we have Mr. Eric Robinson. So at this time, we go ahead and now recognize our journalism student. Good evening, everyone. My name is Felicia Chisholm. I'm the journalism teacher at Fairfield Central High School, the English teacher as well. I'm the editor of the community newspaper, student operated community newspaper, the Fairfield Post. If you're familiar with it, thank you. If you are not familiar with it, give me after the meeting, because I'm talking about it. Not this fan. But thank you, well, whoever has contributed at any point in time to the newspaper to make it a success for the past 4 years. Thank you so much. I can't thank you enough.
And Mr. Darrell Davis, on behalf of his foundation and organization, excuse me, Believers and Achievers, are presenting the awards tonight for Outstanding Journalist of the Year. These, Outstanding Journalist of the Year. So, my two young ladies and my two young men can come on up. Daquan Bates, Kylie Burns, Daniel Douglas, and Tazira Doctor. Let's talk from now to 8 o'clock about the students that you are witnessing right now, but I won't hold you. The awards that they're giving to outstanding journalists of the year, excuse me, says Outstanding Journalist of the Year is proudly awarded to Daniel Douglas, Tazira Doctor, Kylie Burns, and Daquan Bates for consistently committing to the success of the Fairfield Post by exceeding expectations and demonstrating integrity, determination, perseverance, critical thinking, creativity, and independence. Please give these students a round of applause.
Y'all doing good evening. And good evening, the Keon Martin, president of the legal teams. On behalf of the legal team, Mr. Darrell Davis, and myself, we'd like to acknowledge our youth. Encourage them, keep on doing good work and striving for the best, sky's the limit. But we got these awards for, of course. And we got, Tazira Doctor, Douglas, Daquan Bates, and Kylie Burns. We also have the gift certificate. This kind of funny, we got two. 100 and 250, but I don't know who's supposed to be receiving. So we just gonna give them the gift certificate, y'all give it straight, however. Have fun with that, and be careful, y'all, to keep up with this person, keep on when I put a magazine. God bless y'all, let's give them a round.
I mean, before you make y'all not looking. Let me say something about these journalism students here. I have a lot of things in Fairfield County. But sometimes I think when things are in our midst, we just assume that everyone else is doing it. The fact that we have a journalism class, the fact that we produce a community newspaper is really the exception. I'll tell you, you could go around virtually any school in the business, and I would challenge you to find one who is producing a paper at all, much less a paper of the quality of what these young people are producing every single week. And that's just an indication of the outstanding things that are going on right here in Fairfield County. When people visit me, I always keep Fairfield Post in my office. All right, I mean, because I'm so proud of it. And so when folks come in my office and see the paper, they say, "Wow, that's nice. Who does that?" I said, "Our students do that every week." They are always amazed by that because very few schools across South Carolina produce anything to the nature of what we're doing here in Fairfield County. And so that should be a sense of pride, folks, that we are doing some things that a lot of folks wish they could. Probably the only other school that I'm familiar with that has a paper similar to that is out of Charleston, Mondo High School. They have a pretty thriving paper, but that's a school of probably about 9,000 students. School. So Fairfield County is doing an excellent job, and these young people are doing an excellent job of representing us with pride. You don't know around the corner. And please let me acknowledge the children. I'm not gonna let the children go anywhere. If she tries to leave, I'm gonna make sure we give her a bad run. Let me tell you, we hired Miss Chisel right out of Winthrop University. And she has been an absolute student. She has really taken this whole initiative to the next level, quite honestly. And I don't know how we could have done it without her guidance. As Ms. Chisholm said, she is an English teacher. And so she has the opportunity to recruit students to be a part of her journalism class. And I suspect that some students, like I said, they got excited about being in journalism. But because of their limited to Ms. Chisholm, they decided to give it a try. And once they give it a try, they can't seem to leave. We have students who, once they finish with journalism, continue to participate because of the outstanding work that Ms. Chisholm is doing. So Ms. Chisholm, and I always, email Ms. Chisholm, I read the paper every week, and I talk about the outstanding story that they're doing, the outstanding work. But let me say publicly, Ms. Chisholm, you have done a remarkable job being our young people.
Thank you, Ms. Chisholm. I talked to her a lot through emails. I put her papers in my salon, and my customers look forward to getting the paper every week. I even mail them out to my aunts that live in Baltimore, and they enjoy reading the papers. And I remember when I had my gala, and I emailed her to put it right up in there. She said, "Oh, Ms. Harris already got it. Mike Bannon." She had already pulled the pictures and all the information on this. She did a awesome in the studio. So thank you for all you do. They look forward to reading that paper. We missed it during the summer. I hope we can make some changes on that, but thank you for all you do and all the students.
All right, tape number 2. All right, tonight we are recognizing our top readers, and I'm proud to say this is a new partnership with the Fairfield County Library. Mr. Eric Robinson, along with the Youth Services Librarian, Ms. Deborah Cooper, who is one of our own, will be coming forward tonight to help us recognize our top readers by school. So I ask Dr. Green, along with each principal and each school librarian, we're gonna start with Fairfield Elementary, if you all can come forward. And students who are being recognized tonight will receive a certificate, and then they also will receive a treat bag from the Fairfield County Library. And Ms. McKnight will be joining us for this recognition. For kindergarten, Noah Johnson. And at the end, we will do a group picture of all of the students from each school. First grade, Amira Robinson. Leviticus Sampson, second grade. Mercedes Boyd, third grade. Honesty Bender. Enrique Johnson. grade. And sixth grade, Jaquan McDaniel. Let's give all the students compared to the elementary class. Fairfield Magnet School for Math and Science. School librarian is Mr. Cockrell and principal is Dr. Wakefield. Kindergarten, Raylan Wilson. First grade, Tyrone Baker. Second grade, Cameron Young. Third grade, Chance Burns.
So tired today.
Fourth grade, Tate Ramsden. Fifth grade, Kaylee Summers. Sixth grade, Aria Patel. Let's give these students a round of applause. Media Elementary Principal, Dr. Roberta Hayward, and school librarian, Suzanne Taylor. Kindergarten, Hunter Dial.
Job. Good job.
First grade, Harper Thomas.
Good job.
Second grade, Nolan Branham. Third grade, Aaron Rowan. Fourth grade, Urban Walker. Fifth grade, Derek Green. Sixth grade, Jamison Hamilton. Our next is Kelly Miller. And Dr. Fields, assistant principals representing Kelly Miller, along with Shannon Riley, the hair guy. Shannon Riley, school librarian. All right, tonight we're recognizing the following students from Kelly Miller. Second grade, Michaela Woodard. Third grade, Ansley Piles. Fourth grade, Mikael Woodard. Fifth grade, Renadia Woodard. Sixth grade, Talia Burrell. Give these Kelly Miller students a round of applause. Brian, thank you. McCory Liston School of Technology.
Okay.
Ms. Fennell is the school librarian and Dr. Bell is the kindergarten, Landon Anthony. First grade, Ryan Johnson. Second grade, Kamari Mathis. Third grade, Avery Caldwell. Fourth grade, Kendarius Young.
Okay.
Fifth grade, Micaiah Morgan. Sixth grade, Paige Lewis.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
If you don't want to talk.
Fairfield Middle School, Mr. Dixon principal, and Ms. Keisha Kidd. Librarian. Seventh grade, Madison Green. 8th grade, Akiva Davis. Fairfield Central High School, Dr. Twilly Principal, and Ms. Sorrell, School Librarian. 9th grade, Maya Elise McMillan. 10th grade, Parker Addison Floyd. 11th grade, Jordan Lachey Edmonds. 12th grade, Trinity Lynn Kurtz. Let's give these students a round of applause. Before we conclude, I want to give Ms. Cooper or Mr. Robinson an opportunity to say a few words, if you like.
Good evening, everyone. As an educator, and that's what I was first, was an educator in the classroom. It does my heart so much good to see every child read. All of the studies say, the more you read, the better you will do academically in every subject area. So we are ecstatic to encourage even more reading among scholars from Fairfield County School District. Thank you for partnering with us.
She told me not to lose her paper for that. All I really need to say is ditto. We are so appreciative of the Fairfield County School System, our partnership together, the work that our school media specialists put into helping our children succeed by being readers. All of that makes for better, productive citizens down the road. And we couldn't ask for better, especially at the library, especially at the school district. So thank you very much for all the hard work you as teachers put in, you as a school board put in. As a former educator myself, my heart lies here too as well. So thank you for all you do. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, let me just say that I think the educators in the room recognize that that is probably the most important skill that you can cultivate, which is the skill of reading. It will advance you regardless of whatever career pursuits that you may desire. You know, unfortunately, when I was a young kid, I read as much as my mama made me read and the teachers made me read. I wasn't necessarily the type who developed that passion for reading early. But as I got older, I developed a real thirst for knowledge. And that's the one way you can always acquire real knowledge is to consistently read. Quite honestly, we should read something every single day because we are reading because teacher signed it to us, or like me, my mom was making me do it. We're doing it because we want to know more, learn more. And these young people have embraced it at a very early age. And I can assure you that it will benefit them for years to come. And so we recognize all the outstanding literary scholars that we have here in Fairfield County. Thank you, Ms. Robinson, Ms. Group, assisting us, recognizing our young scholars. Thank you. They'll say it now. We're gonna move now to our board minutes, April 25th, 2023 special call board meeting. Can we get a motion?
Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion, we accept the minutes from the April 25th special call board meeting.
Second such motion. Motion made by Ms. Harrison, second by Dr. Harris. To accept the minutes from the April 25th special call board meeting. All in favor, show by raising the right hand. That would be 7-0. This time we have our superintendent report in schools, superintendent report.
Chairman Miller, members of the board, a few items I'd like to share with you today. First of all, I'd like to recognize our students who participated in the track and field upper state championship this past Saturday. Actually, I had 2 bow tie club members who had already made preparations to travel with us to Atlanta, but unfortunately couldn't join us because they were competing in the upper state championship. And so I was excited to give them a pass on our trip because I know they were representing the Griffin. And I just want to share a few highlights. And we have so many students that do so well and so many personal bests. But I want to highlight some school records. I want to highlight some state championships. And so first of all, let me start with the 4x100 upper state champions from Fairfield Central High School. And so that means that we got some of the fastest young men that want to try to find in South Carolina. On that 4x100 team was Roman Davis, Jaden Boyd, Chris Pearson, and Tydarian Rhea. And I don't think there is a senior in that group right there. I mean, as I think about it, I think Roman, a freshman, James a sophomore, Chris is a sophomore, and maybe Tydarian is a sophomore. So these young people will be back. And so not only did they win the upstate championship, and I had an opportunity to see the video that Dr. Swilly posted on Facebook, it wasn't even close. I mean, they were smoking the field. And Tydarian, who brought it home, I just talked to Tydarian 2 weeks ago. He had a boot on his foot because he took me from his toe. And I said, I thought the boy broke his toe. He's running like Carl Lewis out there. So that broken toe must have healed pretty quick. And if that's what caused him to run that fast, we need to break some more toes. So give them a round of applause. Also, sophomore Hank White is the upstate championship, the upstate champion in the 1600 meter. Hank run a 4 minutes 33 second, 1600 meter, which is not only upstate championship but also a school record. And Hank is only a sophomore, so I know there's some exciting things to come from Hank White in the future. Okay, another school record in our girls 4x800. On that team, we had junior Tierra McDuffie, sophomore Journey Warren, 8th grader Justice Warren, and 8th grader Jadea Warren. And they have something in common, the Warren sisters, all right? And so apparently there's some fast genius in the Warren family. They ran a 11 minutes 8 seconds, which is a new school record. So give them a round of applause. And last but not least, junior Shamel Holmes. Shamel competed in the 200 meter, and she was the upstate champion in the 200 meter. She competed in the 100 meter. She's the upstate champion in the 100 meter. And she came in, I think, second in the 100 meter hurdle, but it was a school record of 59.3 in the 100 meter hurdle. She ran 11.72 in the 100 meter, and a 24.07 in the 200 meter. So Chanel Holmes continues to do standing thing, and we look forward to seeing Chanel in the Olympics one day. I'm already thinking that. She is really an outstanding job. So join me in congratulating. Chanel will be back, as I said, she is a junior. She already has some of the most prestigious track programs in the country that I Chanel. And so she is really making a name for herself and also running. And I mentioned a second ago that we had a couple of young men who did not travel with the Griffin Bowtie Club this past weekend to Atlanta because they were competing. But we still had close to 20 young men who did make the trip. And before I talk about the trip, let me start by recognizing the chaperones who participated in that trip. Mr. Danny Singleton, Mr. Patrick Armstrong, and Mr. Brian Davis. They traveled with us to Atlanta to help chaperone these young boys. As I said earlier, a lot of people talk about it, but very few people willing to be about it, all right? And as I said, going down to Atlanta with about 20 young boys is some work, all right? And so that's not a vacation. That is work when you go down to Atlanta. And you know, I told them when we got back that I was very proud of them because I didn't have to fuss a whole lot. All right, and so number one, all right, and they wouldn't know how to act if I didn't have to fuss at all. And so I'm always going to have to get on a little bit. I told Mr. Miller, we stayed in the embassy suites, okay, and it's always good because you don't have to worry about breakfast. And as soon as we checked in, I mean, literally, I had just got in the room good, and I told them, I said, well, y'all come back down. And we're gonna meet at about 6:30. We're gonna go to the mall. We're gonna have some dinner. I just kicked back for a second. After we had already been to the birthplace of Dr. Martin Luther King, we had taken some pictures. And we're going to lunch at a nice restaurant, and it was a good day. And so I've been in the room for a few minutes, and then one of the kids came in my room and said, Dr. Green, we stopped by just to see how you're doing. Well, I said, I'm good. And let you know we got a couple of kids in blue. You know, and I wasn't even thinking that it was a sweet in the pool. And I'm like, in the pool. But then we didn't tell anybody to bring anything to get in a pool. Let me get down here right now. So I go down to the pool. And there are about 2 kids getting out the pool when I got there, and 2 kids in the pool. And so my first reaction was to say, get out of the water. I mean, nobody should get that water for me. But I said, well, let me just sit back a little bit and I'm more observant. I said, do y'all know how to swim? Yeah, we know how to swim. Well, to make a long story short, one of them was a decent swimmer. The other one could barely dog. And I told him, you got no business getting in no water because you don't know how to swim. So get out of the water. You know what I mean? Get out of the water and don't get back in the water. But that's just a long indication. All the time, I mean, it's like herding cats sometimes. There's always something going. You know, day one, before we left the MLT house, as soon as we got about 5 minutes from the hotel, one of them came up to my seat and said, Dr. Green, I want to tell you. It had been Martin Luther King Jr. house. He said, Dog, we're only about 5 minutes from the hotel. I'll call back and see if we can get your wallet. And so we called back. We never was able to secure his wallet. But I want to thank Brother Armstrong who assisted us because he said that the Shriners had collected some money to help support the young man. And so he paid for one of his meals, and then I paid for one of his meals. And when I talked to his mama, his mother said, well, Superintendent, I'm not sure how he did it, but I'm prepared to come and pick him up from Atlanta. Don't say, wow, this is absolutely not come to Atlanta and pick someone up for a couple of meals, okay? We'll take care of the meals. And Dad even told me that he'd be willing to cash out me some money to make sure that he was taken care of, but we didn't really do that. But anytime you take young boys on a trip, I don't know about you, Mr. Brown. Maybe the girls don't have these kinds of issues, but I can assure you, with the boy, it never fails that we gonna have one. I did this last story right here. So we in the mall, and this is after we ill-advised, and everybody got out. We showered and we got ready. So we go into the mall, and when we get to the mall, we go, they got the food court there with Chick-fil-A and Chipotle, and we got a cheesecake back there. We got all kinds of stuff. But I didn't realize the mall closed at I think 8:30. So we only had about an hour or so to get something to eat. So, the way these young fellows work is they're gonna get to the mall and they're not gonna be thinking about eating. I said, no, we coming to eat. We're not coming to shop. You can shop if you got time, but you better go ahead and get you something to eat. Well, they don't listen to that. I said, well, if you can't get that eat, now don't complain to me later on. It's just gonna be hungry. So one young man, he does all his shopping. And he comes back about 5 minutes before the restaurant shut down. He spent all his money shopping. And this one day one, right? He spent all of his money shopping. And so he said, well, I'll be okay, Dr. Green. I got some snacks. I said, no, you're not really a snack from now until you leave Saturday. And so I talked to his mom, and let me give Armstrong a credit. He gave him some money as well, so he could get him something to do at the last hour. So I want to thank the Charlotte. They really came through. And his mama sent him a couple of dollars as well, so he could finish out his weekend. But you can never predict what's going to happen when you take these young men out of town. I mean, we always enjoy it. It's always a great time. It is a great learning experience. But it is work. Okay, it is an absolute work when you take them out of town. You have to count them all day long. You got to count them, I mean, every time you stop, every time you stop, you got to count them because somebody will all of a sudden come up this side. We don't want to lose anyone. But I tell you, if you follow me on social media, I tweeted out several pictures. One of them was from the Martin Luther King birthplace, his home where he was born, and where he was reared in Atlanta. We got opportunity to talk about some of the historical facts of Dr. King. The young men were very impressed by the fact that Dr. King graduated high school at 15 years of age, college at 19 years of age. And they were somewhat somber to know that he had died by 39 years. Okay, and so he did a whole lot in a very short period of time. We also had opportunity to visit the Civil and Cultural Rights Museum in Atlanta as well, which is adjacent to the World of Coke. There's some outstanding exhibits there also that the young men enjoyed. And then our final trip was to the World of Coke. And they got to drink as much soda as their bellies could stand. When you go to the World of Coke, you can sample all of the different sodas. But I had to warn them before we went to the World of Coke that the last time I took to Atlanta, we visited the World of Coke. I had some young men overdo it and get sick, and had upset stomachs, and I thought we might have to take them to the doctor. So I said, moderation is the key. Moderation is the key. Your stomach can't take but so much soda. And so thank God nobody overdid. And so everybody was good. So let me just say, I thank my parents who trusted us to be responsible for their young men out of town. That is obviously not anything we take lightly. And so you are responsible for someone's child, and that means that they are putting some tremendous trust. Matter of fact, before we left, when the parents told me, they said, "Boy, I ain't never been out of town, superintendent. I put in your hands now. I'm trusting you will. Well, you ain't good hands. Don't worry about that. We got it. We got it." And so we thank those parents, and I thank my young men in all seriousness. They conducted themselves like junk. And our first stop, I had to run and pick up some tickets. And one of the attendants in the MLK Museum, when I got back, he said, "Man, I'm telling you, those young boys, they are perfect junk." And they are just conducting themselves like, absolute junk. And that's what I like to take them. Okay, because we always talk about, exposure and the value of exposure. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you this one thing that really just illustrates how important these kinds of opportunities are. When we first got to the embassy suites, one of the young men came up to me and he said, "Superintendent, this is a nice hotel." He said, "This is the nicest hotel I've ever been in." And I'm telling you, he was amazed at the embassy suite. And you know, we take it back, just the embassy suite. But that was big for him, you know. And so not just being able to visit these cultural sites, but to be in a hotel, to be able to go someplace where you have dinner, breakfast the next morning. You can, even if you have no business going in the pool, but you got your indoor pool where you can go down there and hang out. And so the experience totally around the board, which is absolutely remarkable. And we look forward to continuing these opportunities. Ms. Brown will be taking her to Florida this coming weekend. I think she has about 30 some odd young ladies who will be traveling with her. As I said before, she'll be working the whole time. Yeah, she will be working the entire time, as will her chaperone. So anybody out there who thinks that this is a free vacation, I'll sign you up, and then you can see for yourself what it is to take folks out of town. And so it is a sacrifice. I appreciate the Brown and those chaperones, and that's probably one of the things. My 3 chaperones and my bus driver. And the bus driver, even though he didn't sign up to be a chaperone, he was a de facto chaperone. And if you with us, we go for the work. He did an excellent job staying with us and navigating that through the city. So great job to my boat faculty. And then finally, Dr. Swilly has our graduates prepared to walk across the stage. This is truly one of the most exciting times in the life of a principal and of a superintendent, quite honestly, because all of the hard work comes to fruition, and we can send our young people on to the next stage of their journey. And so graduation will occur promptly at 8:30 on the 3rd of June. Okay, board members, I think we'll start marching in at 8 o'clock. So by the time we hit 8:30, we'll be rolling. Okay, and so we look forward to celebrating our graduates and all of their outstanding accomplishments. With our district COVID report, Ms. Brown, don't even worry about putting the report on because it's so short. I'm even considering I'm going to continue with the COVID report. For the month of May, we had no reported student cases, Ms. Harris, and I always make it qualified there by saying reported student cases. We had 2 staff reported cases, okay, but no student reported cases. And probably because the numbers have been trending that way for the last several months, we've not really had any upticks. We'll probably just suspend the COVID report at least for a while until things change. As long as we count on this kind of 0, no cases, 1 case, I'll just suspend that if that's okay. Yeah, so we don't really have a whole lot of report, but now that's good then. Okay, but in the event that some things change, we'll be ready to make some adjustments. Summer work hours, I am presenting summer work hours, to the board for your approval. Our proposal is that new summer work hours will be from 7:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. I can tell you that the staff will be very excited about the opportunity for a 4-day work week during the summer. And they always get the job done. So I think, as Mr. Siebel said, this is an incentive for our staff to really be created, revived for the fall semester of the new school. So I present that to you for your approval.
I made a motion.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion, we accept the superintendent recommendation to approve the summer work hours beginning on Monday, June 5th, 2023, and through Friday, July 21st, 2023, with hours of 7:30 to 4:30, Monday through Thursday, and all offices will be closed on Fridays.
Motion made by Mr. Harrison, second by Dr. Harris. Work. Hours will be 7:30 to 4:30. You have any question? All in favor, show by the raising of the right hand. Is he? Dr. Green?
Yeah, and Mr. Miller, the final thing, I've already talked about the elite ladies trip to Florida. In your board packet, you see some details and some of their planned visits. I know the young ladies are excited about it. I'm sure the chaperones are excited about it as well. This is a part of exposing our young people. And so I present that to you for your approval.
Get a motion, please.
Sir Chair, I make a recommendation the board approve the overnight out-of-state field trip request for the elite ladies of Fairfield County School District to Orlando, Florida on Friday, May 19th through Sunday, May 21st, 2023.
I second.
Motion made by Ms. Green, second by Mr. Darrell Davis. Set the superintendent recommendation. Approve the overnight out-of-state field trip request to elite ladies of Fairfield County School District to Orlando, Florida on Friday, May 19th through Sunday, May 21st. All agreements show by the raising of the right hand. That would be 7-0.
And one final thing, Ms. Brown, I see you all are staying 2 nights. The Bowtie Club members were disappointed that we only stayed 1 night. And I told them that it's Mother's Day on Sunday, and I got to get back here, because I got to cook my mama some oxtail. And y'all need to recognize your mamas as well. That's right. So we need to get back for Mother's Day. So you enjoy 2 nights with these young ladies. I'm sure it's going to be a blast.
One question. After Swilling. Question of graduation. And I don't know how the board feels that, it's kind of hard to take some pictures with them when we get there and we just get on the field. And so if we could, what time do you usually have your graduating class there?
They're in the gym by 7 a.m. Have to.
Take some pictures with the graduating class around about 7:30. I mean, that's different. I would like to. If it's okay with you, I would like to take pictures with the graduating class instead of being scattered all over the field. You running around with a camera. I just take a good picture. Some of our young folks. I can look home to it. You don't mind. I know it'll be high. Thank you. So Recommendation.
Item one, under curriculum and instruction, is the approval of the 2023-2024 instructional materials. And these are for recommendations for adoption. And we are recommending, these textbooks for biology 1, biology 1, 2, and honors, biology 2, biology advanced placement, European history, advanced placement, and civics.
Can we get a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion, we accept the superintendent recommendation to approve the instructional materials district selection recommendations for the adoption for the 2023-24 school year.
Motion made by Harris, second by Harris. Superintendent Bates, to approve the instructional material, textbook district recommendation for the adoption of the 2023-2024 school year. All in favor, show by raising the right hand. That would be that.
The next item is the approval of the 2023-2024 school renewal plan and district strategic plan updates. Of course, these updates are a part of our annual update that is submitted to you all for approval. We updated the performance goals to reflect the 2022 summative data. And if you were to look at the plans, you will notice that information has been updated as it relates to the data that is listed in all of the plans.
Get a motion.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion, we accept the superintendent recommendation to approve the 2023-24 school renewal plan and district strategic planning updates.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Harris, second by Green, the who recommends that the board approve the 2024 school renewal plan and district strategic plan update. All in favor, show by raising of the right hand. That would be second. And third.
And the next item is for information. I have included a one-page overview of our 2023 summer academic and enrichment programs that will begin on June 6th. And many of our programs will end in July. And if you click on each link that's listed on the 5th star that's listed on the document, you will see a schedule of all of the academic and summer enrichment programs being offered throughout the school district. Just as a reminder, summer school programs, of course, are mandatory if a student is in danger of being retained. And then schools are also holding enrichment opportunities for our students as well, related to fine arts. We have a variety of different programs that will be offered to our students for the upcoming summer. In addition to that, breakfast and lunch will be served, along with the fact that we also will have bus transportation will also be offered and provided for our students. But this information will be posted on our website.
In regards to your breakfast and lunch program, will it be available to other children in the community or just the children attending enrichment?
The summer feeding sites will also be available on the summer feeding program so that any youth in the community, if there's a student or a child that is hungry, they can go into any local school and request a meal.
Thank you.
All schools, they will have summer school.
All schools will have summer school.
Does that include GOA also, or?
GOA will be doing a summer program for those high school students who need to recover credit.
I haven't had that.
And as stated earlier, there is a link to Gordon Odyssey's programs, all the programs that they'll be offering, and the hours, of course, are listed on that document as well.
Any more questions about that?
Thank you.
Finance and operations. Ms. Robinson.
Good evening. The first item we have this evening under finance and operations is the April 2023 finance report for board review. And there are no significant changes. Everything's still pretty much on course for looks like a slight surplus at the end of the year. It looks good so far.
Questions?
The second item that we have this evening is a budget transfer for the National Beta Club. And the superintendent recommends approval of a budget transfer in the amount of $31,500 to help fund the National Beta Club summer competition expenditure. And the money is being transferred from some savings we had with our SROs amounts. And we actually received some state funding to help fund that. So that we're using that savings to help pay for the expenditure for the summer competition.
Can we get a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I make a motion, we accept the superintendent recommendation to approve a budget transfer in the amount of $31,500 to help fund the National Beta Club summer competition expenses.
I second.
Motion made by Ms. Harris, seconded by Mr. Davis. Set the approval of the budget transfer, the amount of $31,500 to help fund our National Beta Club summer competition expense. Before we go over that, I just wanted to, want everybody to know that this is something we don't budget. Right, because we know these kids are going to the national. That's, I want everybody to understand, that's what we're going to be doing this transfer. Is that correct?
Yes.
Anybody got any more questions on that? All in favor, show by the raising of the right hand. That'd be 7.
Third item under operations and finance is the second reading of the budget for the 23-24 fiscal year. And I'll just start with a brief just recap of the reading, and then I guess we proceed with the motion. And really, and I'll say brief and that's because there's really been no changes to the first reading. The first reading was based on this House projections, but the Senate projections are really not significantly different. So we're going to just stay with the original reading we had for the first reading. And so just to recap the highlights, the proposed budget is $2.3 million higher than our current budget of $3.4 million. And the reason for that is that we do anticipate having about $1.2 million in additional local property tax revenue for next year, just to increase values properties in the district. And we also anticipate, based on just legislative action thus far, that we'll have about an additional $800,000 in state funding. One of the things that will help to offset some of the expenditures that we have will be the ESSER funds that we have. We'll be using about $2 million there, and we'll have salaries and expenditures and benefits coming out of our ESSER funds. So that will help us with our expenditures in the general fund. And as I mentioned before, right now as it stands, the 23-24 year is the last scheduled year that we will have ESSER funds available. But we do have that will help us with our budget expenditures for next year. We're also proposing to use about $700,000 of the fund balance to help balance the budget in this current year. we had slated to use about $900,000, and as I said, we are projected to have a surplus, so that would be needed this current year. So next year, we hope for the same thing, but right now, we're planning about $700,000 to balance the budget out of the fund balance for next year. Now, fund balance is fairly healthy, so that's not something taxing on us in terms of reductive fund balance. Some of the other highlights in terms of the expenditures, we did utilize with some anticipated vacancies to help balance the budget. And I think we had probably about 12 vacancies total. We anticipated not having to fill and that would help us to offset some of the expenditures. The budget includes the implementation of the administrative pay scale that the board approved in March. It also includes $2,500 increase per teacher, and of course, they will move up a step. And it includes increase for our bus drivers as well. And the final thing is the budget does include the bonus structure that we have in this year. That would be $5,000 for certified, $3,000 for our classified employees. So that really is the budget in a nutshell. And as I said, nothing's changed from first reading because we really don't have any additional anticipated revenues or changes from the state compared to the first reading.
Good, let's go ahead.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion to accept the superintendent recommendation to approve the second reading of the fiscal year 2023-24 budget in the amount of $45,677,674, which includes no changes in the village.
Motion made by Ms. Harrison. Second by Reverend Jackson. Accept superintendent recommendation to approve the second reading of the year for 2023-2024 budget. The amount of $45,677,674, which includes no change in millage. Just one question, Mr. Robinson. Now that Milford, that's it, right? Can you use the number for the this year?
I believe that's about 600 and about 660,000.
Which is, that's the money that, it's still going, it's something that we are still paying for. Back in the day when I first got on board, we was only paying 25,000. And then it's now 600. Just want everybody to be aware of that. Again, superintendent making a recommendation to approve the second reading of the 2023-2024 budget in an amount of $45,677,674, which includes no change in that. All in favor, show by raising the right hand. Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Human resources.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. This evening, under Human Resources, you have item 1, where the superintendent recommends the board approve certified resignations and terminations, and these recommendations are presented in exhibits 1A, 1B, and 1C.
We get a motion?
Third Chair, I make a recommendation that the board approve certified educators' resignations and termination has been displayed in exhibit 1A, 1B, and 1C.
Second such motion. Motion made by Mrs. Green, second by Dr. Harris, accept the superintendent recommendation to approve. Thank you, Mike. Exhibit A, one B, and one C. All in favor, show by raising the right hand. 7.
Next, the superintendent recommends the board approve certified educators for the 2023-24 academic year in exhibits 2A, 2B, and 2C.
Get a motion?
Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion to accept the superintendent recommendation to approve certified educators for the 23-24 academic year and exhibits 2A, 2B, and 2C.
Need a second?
I think
Motion made by Ms. Harrison, second by Ms. Green, to accept the superintendent recommendation to approve certified educators for year 23-24 academic year, exhibit 2A, 2B, and 2C. All in favor, show by raising of the right hand. That would be 7.
And lastly, the superintendent recommends the board approve certified professional administrators for the 2023-24 academic year. And these recommendations are presented in exhibit 3.
for chair,
We do the motion?
for chair. I make a recommendation the board approve certified professional administrators for the 23-24 academic year. That's an exhibit 3.
Motion made by Ms. Green, second by Dr. Harris, to accept the superintendent recommendation for recommended for the board approval of certified professional administration for the 23-24 academic year. Exhibit 3, professional certified administrator. All in favor, show by the raising of the right hand. 7.
Thank you.
Thank you. Again, Dr. Green, just coming out of the board here, what I really think that getting the job, taking these young folks down to Atlanta. We thank you. Just, I kind of work with young kids, but I don't know. I got a good age now. I don't know if I can do it like I used to. Just worrying about them because it comes with that. I mean, jumping at the little everything, man. Right these kids. Again, job outstanding. Thank you, Ms. Brown. Outstanding job. You ladies, I think everybody actually, our principals, teachers, our community leaders. Thank you all because, as Dr. Green said, it takes a village to raise a child. Again, our Fairfield County School District Board of Trustees, our board meetings, I'm going to take a look at those. And we're going to, we have to vote on them. Y'all in agreement with them, we can vote. Starting July, going our way to June 4th. Do we get a motion?
Chair, I make a motion that we accept the superintendent recommendation to approve the calendar year for the school board meetings starting July 1, 2023, ends June 2024.
Harris is talking about Harris, except they seem to approve the school board meeting schedule, which will always be held here in the district office from July to June, July of 2023 to June 24. All in favor, show by raising your right hand. That would be 7 you know, I always, if I got board, board to, I always want to give our colleagues a chance to they have anything they can want to express to the community. So, anybody have anything?
Go ahead. Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm glad you're here, Dr. Simpson, because you was a part of this journey. We went down 2 weeks ago. My baby is a doctor now. And when she walked across that stage, they actually tell you where they from. Most of the people in there probably never heard of Winsboro. But we were so proud of her walking across there because, like my dad said, that's the only thing that she ever talked about since the little girl being a veterinarian. But the plan she had for us to drive her to California is out for me. I'm flying. So she will be here until August. She has to report to Stanford University for research. She will be there 3 years, September the 1st. They will pay her to move out there, housing allowance and all. My thing is that furniture, you got to sell it. We buy something to get out there because I'm not driving to California. And she got this plan to start in Texas, to visit her friend, do all that. No, we're not doing none of that. But we are so very proud of her. We've had so many people to reach out. She is going to come to the school when the school starts back in August, speak to the kids. She got some professors reached out to her to make a video just to talk to some college students about her journey, because everybody knows it is hard to get in veterinary school. It's not that many slots. So it's very hard. It was 114 and only 5 of them look like her. So it's very hard. And on Saturday this week, we will have our Stop the Violence symposium, the internet symposium. Everything is falling into place. Dr. Green is on the panel, the sheriff, and several other people. So it will be held at Bethlehem Church at 330 West 3rd Street in Ridgeway, starting at 9 o'clock, 9 to 12. We will serve refreshments. And also June 17th will be our first Juneteenth parade in Winsboro, and the churches are coming in with the application of being in parades. Look forward to that. We got a guest speaker to talk about our history. We had so many people calling and thought it was late. We actually extended the date. I don't know why they made it so early, but so we extended the date. So if anybody still want to participate, they can participate in that. And on Friday, I will be giving my first recipient scholarship to Richard Wynn. Their graduation is on Friday. I thought I was going to STEM school, but nobody applied. So I got more money, and I'll just roll it on over to the next year. And I'm also a part of the Black School Board. And it's just hurt my heart that out of the whole state, we only had 6 people to apply, and I think 3 of them was from Fairfield. So yeah. So tomorrow night we will have our meeting, and so I'm gonna see if I can present those because we determined it was only 6, so we're gonna get calls. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to congratulate the completers, the 2023 completers from Fairfield Career and Technical Center for completing programs and receiving their certificate, and for an iPad they gave them, culinary art students, a very nice little cupcake, nice sweet pie. I enjoyed the program. Ms. Foley pulled me up there, and Dr. Foley, Dr. Pilot unexpectedly, but yeah. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Chairman, I first like to congratulate the graduates from the STEM program. There are 18 students that graduate associate degree before you got the high school diploma. A lot of people very impressed with it. It's always amazing to see our own students walk across that stage. Matter of fact, I don't know how they got my nephew tired, and when he was with the high school graduates, Trayvon Tapeta, the graduation year. You know, it's winding down close to the end of the year, and normally what MSC was do around and cook at the school, either students or the teachers. So, May 25th, we'll be cooking at Giger, 5 to 7, cooking for the seniors, 5 to 7 on May 26th. Max will also reach out to us to help out with cooking on May 31st. And it seems that you'll get in touch with killing them. So I would encourage the board, and we invite you in that time, come out and help support, serve, or just participate.
I would just eat.
Just eat.
Yeah. That's right.
I would just like to congratulate my colleague on her daughter's completion of a doctoral degree. I remember when she was walking around at the house, I knew she was intelligent, but I didn't know she would go this far, you know, saying who her mama is. But I'm so proud of her.
A lot of people are actually watching our meetings, but they say we sound muffled. So I don't know what that's about, but they said they get on the meetings every month and watch it, but it's like we're muffled, like they can't really hear. So they, you know, technology and check that out.
Yeah, I would check with technology.
Okay. Can I get a motion?
Mr. Chair, make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I will get at the time. Motion by Ms. Harris, second by Ms. Green. Right hand. Even sure.
Cause they're.
He had to show over the things. But I know you said, oh, you saw no picture, yeah. You are, when you, I know.